Hello everyone, this is Asavri here. I welcome you all to this webinar presented by investmentguruindia.com. And today our subject is going to be investment. As a young people, we are a little bit scared about the word investment. So today we have a great personality joined us for discussing this topic. Today we have with us Mr. Mohit Gang. Guys, he is such a great personality. We can totally relate to him. He is just as binge watcher as we are. Like his current favorite web series is Patal Lok, and he is also a reader. His favorite book is Breakout Nations by Ruchir Sharma, and he also is a football fan. And he is an outdoor person. Like he loves trekking and going for runs. So he's just like us. And for his resume, he has humongous experience in the field of financial markets. Like he has worked for HSBC and Citibank for more than a decade, and currently he is a CEO and co-founder of Moneyfront, where he helps investors manage their portfolios with an army of a team. So we welcome you, Mohit.
Thank you so much, Asavri. Thank you very much for those kind and nice words. Flattens me out. So thank you so much.
Yeah. So, to begin with, let's start our conversation. Like, when I started my career, to be honest, my just motto was to earn money and spend money on things. I never thought about investment. And as a young people, we are a little bit scared about the word investment. So, what is the thing? Like, what can we do? How can you help us understand it in very easier term?
So look, I can completely relate to it. In fact, one of my biggest regrets is that I started working in 2003, and my first investment was made when in around 2005 end or roughly around 2006 start. So those 2 years which I lost, I still regret that why couldn't I start with my first job or even before that through my college life. And I think one of the prime reasons is we guys are so I would say so busy in our early lives, immediately passing out of colleges, friends, family, new job, new lifestyle, new cities for most of us, new changes. And I think we like to spend, right? I think the biggest thing about this generation of millennials and Z generation is they want to spend money. They believe in consumption. They believe in immediate gratification, right? So a concept which is 30 years down the line, 50 years down the line, 20 years down the line as to what will happen to their lives, why should they save, is like alien to us, right? So we still can't relate to it. So my only tip to all the starters is that when you start in life, your equation has to be very simple. What we typically do is we do our earnings, which is if we get 100 rupees a month, so our earnings minus our expenses equals to our savings, right? So this is how we run our daily shop. So we get 100 rupees, we want to spend, we have EMIs, we want to buy the new mobile phone, we want to go out traveling, we want to do clubbing and all those kind of things, right? And we end up spending like 80, 90, 95 rupees out of it, and we hardly save, and that is just lying in the account. If we tweak this equation, which is earning minus investments equals to savings, only this minor tweak, you have to just adjust the left hand side and right hand side of the equation, which means you have to move investments from right hand side to left hand side. If you can do that in your life, which means you get 100 rupees, you earmark 10 rupees, 20 rupees, 25 rupees, and say, okay, this will go into investments, and the remaining is what I will spend, and your life is sorted. Trust me, this one simple equation, you have to change from earnings minus expenses equals to investments. उसको आप change कर दीजिए, make it earnings minus investments equals to expenses, and the life kick starts.
Okay, that actually made very much sense and it looked quite easy कि अभी ऐसे टेंशन नहीं आ रहा है अच्छा इन्वेस्टमेंट करने के लिए इतना सारा अमाउंट साइड में रखना होगा बट एज यू सेड कि इन्वेस्टमेंट यू रिग्रेट दोस इयर्स कि आपने इन्वेस्टमेंट पहले क्यों नहीं स्टार्ट किया सो what is the importance of investing early, how it is going to make a difference in next 20 years? Can you explain this with the help of slides so it is much better to understand?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Can I share my screen if that's fine? Yeah, I'll do that. I think you'll have to permit me. The host will have to give me the approval to share the screen, and I'll do that.
Is it me?
Yeah, now it's fine. Yeah, the screen is visible.
Yes.
Okay. So I call it the early bird takes the worm, right? So the sooner you rise in life, and it's a very common phenomena. Why do birds rise early in life, and why do they start their mornings like at 5:30, 6 when we are about to wake up? Because birds know that there are limited amount of food which is available, and the first one who goes out will is the one who will get the food, right? So that's true with everything in life. And it's a very simple example which I have presented. Look, everyone has a dream of being a crorepati at some day in life, which is having liquid assets, liquid, right? Having a house, having a car, those are all physical assets, and those are not your liquid assets. Liquid financial net worth is a very different concept. Everyone dreams of having, let's assume, a 1 crore kind of a corpus, right? Now the whole important part is, if you start at age 30 and you put aside monthly 1800 rupees, 1800 rupees, that's about it, right? I'm not asking for like the sun, the moon, the stars. 1800 rupees a month, which I'm sure most of the new millennial guys can put aside, right? They will achieve 1 crore if they do 1800 rupees of SIP per month. By age 60, they will have a corpus of 1 crore. We are assuming a 12% CAGR rate. We are assuming a 14% CAGR rate of return out here from the markets, right? Now, take an example that age 30, you are busy partying in life. You want to spend all your money, you want to consume all your money. And you come to think of investments only at age 40, right? Which is when liabilities knock on you. You have kids, you have some responsibilities, and you start thinking कि यार अब investment करना चाहिए. Right, कुछ savings होना चाहिए, कुछ retirement corpus होना चाहिए. If you start then to build the same corpus of 1 crore, you will have to put aside 7,500 rupees a month. So from 1800, the amount increases to 7,500 to accumulate the same corpus at the same rate. Why? Because now the years left with you are only 20 years. Come to think of a person who realizes this the hard way at age 50. यार सब कुछ हो गया लाइफ में, बहुत मजे कर लिए, and now I want to put aside something because I'm about to retire in next 10 years, right? This is the person who will actually have to struggle very hard in life, because till date he has not bothered about savings, not bothered about investments. Now that he wants to accumulate 1 crore rupees at his age 60, he will have to put aside every month 38,000 rupees, right? So see the difference. Someone who wants to start at age 30 is putting 1800 rupees. Someone who wants to start at age 50 has to put 38,000 rupees a month just to attain the same corpus of 1 crore, which means the person who starts early has a head start of 20 years on a person who starts at age 50. So that's the power of compounding. That's the magic of investments. The sooner you start in life, if you are watching this and you are in the age bracket of 20 to 24, if you've got your first job, this is the time. With your first paycheck, you should just go out and start investing, start putting aside some amount and start building your corpus. Trust me, this 1 crore is just a mathematical number. If you put 1800 ke aage one more zero, you can put one more zero ahead of 1 crore. So that is how the power of compounding will work. If you can put aside 18,000 rupees, the corpus will be 10 crores. It's plain and simple, right? Or you can move the corpus much before. You can move it to 25 years, and that 1800 will move down to almost like 800 rupees a month or something like that, right? So that's how investments work. The sooner you start, the bigger your corpus will be, and the better you will be in life. So I keep repeating this in perhaps all my sessions, that the person who wins the battle of life is not someone who has more money, more power, higher job, higher authority. The person who wins and creates long-term wealth is the one who starts early in life and starts saving fairly early in life. That's the person who will win this long race. I hope this illustration makes it clear, Asavari.
Yes, it actually does help understand the power of compounding, and why exactly to start so early. It really makes a huge difference. Actually, I am stunned. I never thought of this way. So, Mohit, as you said, can you put back the screen? Like, are you
Yeah,
done?
yeah.
Okay. So, Mohit, as you said, like, first आपका income आता है, उसमें से आप है ना investment के लिए पहले बाजू में रखो, and then you spend. So, what
Absolutely.
is that amount or the percent of your income that you should keep aside or you should invest?
Look, so for everyone, I think the goals are different. The liabilities are different. I might be a person who started with some liabilities. I will perhaps have to pay off my education loan and some other expenses of my family. And I could be a person who starts with zero liabilities in life with my first paycheck, right? So everyone has a different equation in life. But the thumb rule is, if you get 100 rupees, you should try and keep aside 20 to 25 rupees into investments, and the remaining 75 should be your uh, what do you say, expenses and lifestyle or EMIs and all other kind of things, right? So that's how it should be. Ideally, the equation for millennials has to be 50 30 20, which means that 50 rupees is your routine expenses, which is your fixed EMIs, loans, fixed expenses, right? 30 rupees has to be your consumption expenses, your lifestyle, your partying, clubbing, so on and so forth. And 20 rupees has to be investments. So if you follow this 50 30 20 rule, perhaps you'll never go wrong in life.
That's good. That's very helpful and very easily explained. So Mohit, we usually have heard about mutual funds. बहुत ज्यादा टीवी पे एड्स भी आते हैं और बहुत सारे लोग बोलते भी है कि अरे ये ऐप से इन्वेस्ट कर लो, इट इज वेरी इजी टू इन्वेस्ट. सो व्हाट एग्जैक्टली इज म्यूचुअल फंड्स एंड व्हाट इज म्यूचुअल फंड सही?
Okay, so look, mutual funds is an investment vehicle, right? It's like you hiring someone to manage your money, basically, right? So what people typically do is, when you have some portion of money and you want to invest it, the first thing, they will go to a bank and do a fixed deposit, right? That's like the most traditional way of doing investments. But you're not getting the power of equities, which can actually multiply your money. So mutual funds will give you options other than traditional sources of investments. They will take you into the world of equities, world of debt, give you higher returns than what your traditional products can give you. The whole benefit about mutual funds is that you don't have to bother about your money. You give it in the hands of a professional, right? So it's like going to a doctor or a lawyer. You're not fighting your own case in the courtroom. You're giving your case to a well-known, reputed lawyer, right? Or you're not treating your own self. You're not going to the counter and taking a medicine by yourself. You're going to a doctor who will give you the best possible treatment for your best possible, or whatever your illness particularly, right? So that's what mutual fund does. It gives you a simple avenue where lakhs of investors are together. The money is pooled in, it's given to a professional fund manager who manages your money on your behalf and delivers returns on your money and gives you liquidity. Whenever you want the money back, they give you back, and whatever returns are delivered by them is kind of appropriated to your portfolio and your money. So it's one of the simplest ways of investing money, most hassle free, tension free, and easily doable. And multiple formats are available to invest your money in mutual funds. A lot of digital platforms are there. A lot of almost all banks provide this. Everyone, a lot of other avenues, a lot of distributors in the market doing this. So very, very simple tool of investing your money.
Okay, so we have heard कि equity में you earn a lot of money. So what are the advantages of investing into equity mutual funds, and are there any categories in equity mutual funds?
Okay, so Asavri, I'll just do a minor correction. Gone are the days when you used to earn a lot of money into equities. I wish there were some avenues left in the world which could give you a lot of money. But unfortunately, the times in which we are living in, it's very difficult to make even reasonable amount of money. The way to look at equities is आपका एफडी का क्या रेट चल रहा है, ठीक है? अगर आपका 5 साल का एफडी आपको 7% रिटर्न देता है, so you take a risk premium of around, so that's called the risk free rate. Your FD rate is the risk free rate. उसमें कोई रिस्क नहीं है, वो आप कभी भी डालेंगे आपको 7% मिल जाएगा, राइट? 5 साल के लिए, 1 साल के लिए शायद थोड़ा कम है रेट अभी. That's the risk free rate in the economy. Ideally 10 year का benchmark होता है, but I'm keeping things very simple here. उस रिस्क फ्री रेट पे आप एक रिस्क प्रीमियम लगा दीजिए कि थोड़ा, अगर एफडी में वोलेटिलिटी नहीं होता, वो पैसा स्विंग नहीं करता है, बट अगर उसमें अप्स एंड डाउन्स आए, वो बहुत वोलेटाइल हो जाए, वो रिस्की हो जाए, उसमें लॉसेस के चांसेस आ जाएं, बट उसमें हायर रिटर्न्स के चांसेस हैं, तो आप कितना प्रीमियम देंगे? सो दैट प्रीमियम कैन बी एनीवेयर फ्रॉम 5 to 7%, राइट? तो अगर आप 7% पे और 5% का प्रीमियम या 6% का प्रीमियम दे दे, तो 12 से 13% का रेंज, 12 से 14% का रेंज आता है. सो दैट 12 to 14% is the range of expectation of your equity return. So when you start investing into equity, your expectation should be, this is what I will make. If you make more, well and good. Markets have been kind on you. If you make loss, take it with a pinch of salt. But if you keep it for long term, that's the history of Indian markets. You will get in that range typically, right? So that is what equity does. Abhi equity mutual funds के type क्या क्या होते हैं? Can I share one slide that will be easier for me to explain that this concept? Just.
Of course, of course.
Sorry, just give me a minute.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, is this slide visible?
Yes, it is.
Okay. So basically, look out here. There are different forms of investments. So one form is you have incomes. You have income, which is FDs and bonds and properties and companies, which is equity, right? Now, in terms of mutual funds, there are liquid funds, debt funds, balanced funds, index funds, equity funds, and sectoral funds. This is the whole scale of mutual funds. तो mutual funds का मतलब सिर्फ equity नहीं होता है, सिर्फ risky assets नहीं होता है. Mutual funds में आपको safe options भी होते हैं. So you have debt funds and balanced funds and liquid funds. So liquid funds is the safest category of mutual funds where you have like absolutely safe returns, but very so FD plus 50 paisa, FD plus 1% is the range of returns. Debt funds will give you FD plus 1-2%. That's the range of return. Balanced fund is the starting level of equity funds, where you will have some portion of equity and some portion of debt. So it is mostly for conservative investors who want to keep their money fairly safe. Then you have index funds, which is the starting level of all equity funds. It's the lowest cost product in the country. It's the safest kind of equity investment you can ever assume. Will only invest into index. So index can be Nifty or Sensex. You buy those index funds, so you're buying those indices of the country. You're buying a Sensex fund, you're buying a Nifty fund, which means your money is going into all 50 companies of Nifty. Whether you want to invest 100 rupees, 1000 rupees, that's up to you. It will get divided into all 50 companies. It's the lowest cost product, and it's one of the best ways to start investing. If you are a first time investor, you are confused what to do, where to do, close your eyes, put your SIP into an index fund. You will never go wrong. Whether you are a first time investor or you are a 20-year experienced pro in the market, index fund can never go wrong. You just have to start believing in index funds and just start investing in it. If your country is doing good, your GDP is growing, your index will always reflect that. It will always have the best companies in the country, and it will keep growing. So that's by far the simplest and the best way of doing it. Then comes normal equity funds. Uske andar mein you have large cap funds, you have multi cap funds, you have mid cap funds, you have small cap funds, and you also have some categories like large and mid cap, value, and then you have sectoral funds, which is thematic in nature. So if you want to buy a pharma fund, only investing in pharma companies. You want to buy a tech fund, only investing into tech companies, or an FMCG fund. So that's the highest level of risk because it's concentrated into one particular sector, and that's the last band. So equity funds, index, large cap, multi cap, mid cap, small cap, and then you have value, large and mid, sectoral funds. So that's the broad range, Asabri.
Okay. So are there any risks involved in this mutual fund? And when, in fact, we have also heard कि diversify करना चाहिए आपका portfolio. So in what exact ways should we diversify the portfolios? And what are the risks involved in mutual funds?
Okay, so diversification, technically put, the technical definition of diversification is to buy two assets which are negatively correlated, which means कि मैं दो ऐसी चीजें कर रहा हूं कि एक का impact दूसरे पे नहीं आएगा बिल्कुल भी, right? So it's like I'll give you say suppose you are buying when you go in the market, you technically try and buy two vegetables, two fruits, three vegetables, three fruits. You're buying different types of item, right? Why? You can't have one thing always. It just gives you a better palette. It also kind of keeps your interest going. plus it hedges your position in the sense that कि कल को कुछ एक चीज खराब आ जाती है, तो you have a fallback option on the second part, right? Similarly, when you start investing, what happens is you start investing into equity, and you also have gold in the house. Now, technically, equity and gold historically have a negative correlation. When equities do bad, gold does good. When equities do bad, debt does better. Just historically, these has been established correlations over many years. Some assets behave differently to each other, right? So that means if you have 100 rupees, you put 60-70 rupees in equity, which will give higher returns. Put 20-30 rupees in debt, which will keep your portfolio safe, which will protect the downside and give you lesser returns, but still give you returns in times when equities are not going good. तो होता क्या है, if there are times cycles when equities are negative or volatile and you suddenly need money, you would not want to touch assets which have got beaten down or which are showing some negative returns or something like that. So you will pull out some money from debt. So it also helps you give liquidity in dire situations. It gives you different types of assets. It hedges your position and provides some cushion in the portfolio. So you ideally in your portfolio should have equity, should have debt, should have 5 to 10% of gold, and then there are other assets also. But for starters, to keep it very simple, start with equity, debt, and some portion of gold, and that's a very good diversified portfolio.
Okay, that's very well explained actually. But sir, what are the risk factors for mutual funds? Like अगर mutual fund में invest करते हैं, are there any risks involved?
Sorry, I missed that. You asked me previously also. So okay, so yes, definitely risk होते हैं और उसलिए आप diversification भी करते हैं. Diversification का main reason होता है कि आप risk को mitigate कर पाएं, आप risk को hedge कर पाएं. सबसे बड़ा रिस्क क्या है, आप equity में invest कर रहे हैं लोग. So equity means that you are a part owner of the company where you are investing. You are a profit owner, which means you are also a loss owner. सो इक्विटी का मतलब ये नहीं होता है कि आप प्रॉफिट ही शेयर करोगे, आप कंपनी के ओनर बन चुके हो. व्हेन यू बाय इक्विटी ऑफ रिलायंस, आप रिलायंस का एक शेयर खरीदते हो, तो आपके पास में एक शेयर होगा. हो सकता है मुकेश अंबानी के पास में ही विल हैव करोड्स एंड करोड्स ऑफ शेयर्स, बट यू आर आल्सो अ पार्ट ओनर by virtue of you having one share of Reliance. So whatever profit, if Reliance earns 100 rupee of profits, 99 can go to Mukesh Ambani, but that 1 rupee, because you have 1% shareholding or whatever, one share might not be 1%, but whatever you have, the proportionate profit will also be yours. And if, God forbid, Reliance earns losses, those losses are also yours. So when you own equity, you have to understand you are a part owner of both profits and losses, which means if your position goes negative, if the company earns losses, if the stocks don't do good, if the underlying portfolios of mutual funds or the markets are volatile, you will also have losses. That's why it is most important that your time horizon of investment should not be 1 year, 2 year, 3 year. It has to be 5 years and above when you invest into equity. Equity is for long term. Only when you invest for 5 years, 10 years is when you will make those kind of returns, because market cycles can be bad. Companies can go through patchy cycles. You have to ride through that and make sure you stay put with your investments for a very long time to realize those profits. So equity means volatility, equity means market risk. It can also mean capital risk at times. जो जिन्होंने last year enter किया था market में, वो सब negative में है अभी. Right, so it's negative, but that's the way it is. For people who have invested 5 years back, they are all still in the money. They are well in the money, right? So it depends आपने कब enter किया, आप कितना patience से उसको hold करते हो. Reason why people make money in property and everyone says ये देखो मैंने property लिया था, इसमें पैसा बन गया, because they don't realize that property was bought by their fathers and grandfathers, and it's been lying there for 50 years, 30 years, whatever, donkey's years, and that's why they've made money, right? So the whole reason why investment classes make money is you hold it for long term, and that's where it is. In short term, all investment classes are risky.
Okay. So Mohit, my next question, ये सारे जो terms है ना, what I'm gonna use, we have heard those in colleges in syllabus. So what is the practical difference between these terms? So the terms are post office investment, PPF, debt mutual funds, and fixed deposits.
Okay. So देखिए ये सारे ही debt investments हैं, which means debt investment जब कोई बोलता है, which means there are safer ways of investing your money. So equity or debt, equity as I told you is part ownership of profit, डेट में आप किसी को लोन दे रहे हैं एंड आपको एक फिक्स रिटर्न आता रहेगा अगेंस्ट दैट लोन. सो यू आर लोनिंग आउट योर मनी. Your capital is mostly not at risk when you do debt, right? So when you do a post office savings deposit, that means you have 100 rupees, you are giving a loan to post office. In turn, they will pay you 7%, 8% return every year. That is it. Your 100 rupee will not grow. It will give you a steady 7% return every year. When you do PPF, which is Public Provident Fund, that's a scheme by Government of India. You can invest up to 1.5 lakh rupees every year into that. The current rate of interest out there is 7.6%. It keeps getting changed quarterly, and it's a tax-free interest rate, right? So post office savings deposit जो होता है, उसका जो return आता है वो taxable होता है. Interest fixed deposit जब आप करते हैं बैंक के साथ में, जो return आता है वो taxable होता है. So but PPF का जो return होता है, उसके दो benefits होते हैं. पहला, that amount which you invest in PPF can be counted for your ATC investments or your tax saving investments for the year. So people who have started working, I am sure they hate their HR because every Feb HR will come and say tax ke proofs do. Otherwise salary se tax cut jayega, right? And they go rush here and there and do some form of investments and submit their tax proofs. So PPF is one investment which everyone should do. It will give you the tax benefit. The interest is also tax free, and 7.6% tax free is a very good interest rate. So it's a great investment to do, right? So that's PPF. Debt mutual funds are again type of mutual funds where mutual fund houses will invest into debt papers or bonds or corporate deposits or NCDs or debentures of corporates and government entities. So वो भी लोन दे रहे हैं आपका पैसा लेकर आगे different corporates को जिनको आप directly लोन नहीं दे सकते हैं, and in turn they are making interest and they are passing it on to you, right? So they do in bulk, they invest into corporates which can give higher rate of return, so the returns are a little higher, and out there is taxability, but that's a different day topic, so we'll not go into it. Right? So post office, PPF, debt mutual funds, and आपने कुछ एक और बोला था product? Fixed deposit. Fixed deposit is you are giving out your money to a bank, right? So basically, look, I'm not a very big fan of fixed deposits, and excuse me for using this this thing, because look, I'll give you a very small example. You go to an HDFC bank and give them a fixed deposit at 7%. HDFC bank will use your money, give you a home loan at 9% or 8.5% and make 2% on your own money, right? Or give you a personal loan at 12-14% and make that good 5-6%, or give you a business loan at whatever 16%. He's taken money from you in fixed deposit and given it back to some other one, right? When you are so confident, why not go and buy equity of HDFC Bank? Why not be a part holder of that profit which the bank is earning? Why should you loan out your money and do a fixed deposit, right? So that's the whole dilemma between equity and debt. When you're doing a debt, doing a fixed deposit, you're loaning your money, you get a fixed rate. When you do equity, you become a part owner of the equity of the company and you make profits the way company does, right? So that's the whole difference. And fixed deposits are also taxable. तो जो इंटरेस्ट आता है वो टैक्सेबल होता है, टैक्स फ्री नहीं है, विच मीन्स अगर 7% आपको दे रहा है कोई एक साल का, उस पर 30% आप टैक्स लगा दीजिए तो आपके हाथ में 5.5% आ रहा है. आधा तो उसमें से मतलब आई थिंक 4% इन्फ्लेशन, 5% इन्फ्लेशन, मतलब आपके हाथ में हार्डली कुछ आता है. So a real rate of return in all these debt instruments which are taxable is very, very minimalistic, very minimalistic. So any debt instrument which is completely taxable is not a great avenue of investments. It's a preserver of your money. It can never be a creator of wealth. That's the basic difference. Only PPF, which is tax free, continues to be a great investment.
Okay. So, in this till now conversation, we have understood what is investment. आपको investment कितना % तक करना चाहिए, या फिर what are the different segments or instruments of investing. But to make it very easy, आप हमें एक first steps बोल सकते हो कि this is the first step that you have to do to begin your investment.
कुछ मत करिए. If you have not started your investments, आप कहीं भी किसी भी online platform पे चले जाइए. You can come to our platform, which is Moneyfront. You can go to your bank. You can go to any other online platform. Just do your KYC, which is a one-time exercise, which is like taking a PAN card. एक बार ले लिया. Once done is done forever, right? Go, close your eyes, buy an index fund and start your investments. keep aside whatever amount you can keep. If you have 100 rupees of earning, keep 5 rupees, 10 rupees, 15 rupees, 20 rupees, do an SIP, which is a systematic investment plan. आपका salary first को आता है, second को SIP सेट कर दीजिए, fifth को SIP सेट कर दीजिए, ऑटोमेटिक आपके अकाउंट से डेबिट होकर उस फंड में जाता रहेगा हर मंथ, and you are done. That's the simplest way to do. Start an SIP into index fund. You can never go wrong in it. And that's about it. That's the first step of starting investments. Do an SIP. You will never go wrong. That's the way to start building a corpus. But धीरे धीरे increase your SIP amount as your salary increases, as you get bonuses, as you move jobs. Keep increasing your SIP amount. Whenever you have larger chunks, do lump sum. Then go into other categories, which is large cap, multi cap, and so on and so forth. But start your investments with an index fund. You will not go wrong.
Okay, so Mohit, I really have this feeling कि after watching this video, there are gonna be many viewers जिनको आपसे contact करना होगा. So where should our viewers contact you for your guidance?
Oh, we are very much available. Our platform is moneyfront.in. Our email ID is support@moneyfront.in. You can shoot us a mail. I am personally there on LinkedIn as Mohit Gang, on Twitter, so various social media platforms. Moneyfront has a handle on all the social media platforms, Insta, Twitter, Facebook. आप कहीं भी हमको DM कर सकते हैं, कहीं भी message कर सकते हैं. Our team is always available, and you can reach out to me also directly. Just write a mail at support@moneyfront.in, and I'll make sure I reply to all your viewers and audience. I'm an avid fan of Investment Guru India. Basically, I think it's a great initiative and a superb website. Honestly, even though we run our own website, for all my basic stock related queries, research, I keep coming on to your website, and the blogs are really insightful. It's the first website which I open early in the morning to quickly check what is the equity view, what is the market view, catch up on some quick videos and everything. So I think some fantastic work being done out there. And we also, you can also post your queries on Investment Guru India. I think we have a subsection out there where we also respond directly to all the queries being posted on your website. So thank you very much for having me on this show. And I wish you guys all the best for doing some terrific work in the field of investments.